League of Wildness, Wildman Dan here, coming at you from Vietnam of day 5 of my factory visit. Things continue to go well, things continue to get wilder. And as I've said several times, it's like we're getting into the very small details. Basically, today was more confirming everything we've talked about the last several days and months really leading up to this visit. So essentially what we did was we had a document of every single edit that we discussed thus far. And we basically went through line by line, remeasured things, double confirmed fabrics. Just again, really went through everything with a fine tooth comb. Now we have everything in one document that we can reference. And I have a few samples I can bring back home to continue to test. But overall, we're so close. And things are looking really good. Schedule's looking really good. What else? Again, there's a few other, I don't want to say too much too soon, but there's a few other surprises potentially on the way. So we'll get to there when the time is right. But yeah, so essentially what the next steps are going to be is I'm going to get a sample of the completed pack. So I'm going to get 2 samples actually. There'll be the small, medium, and then the large XL size. I'll get those samples and that's going to be complete everything. The one caveat being there might be some fabrics that we don't necessarily have in stock at the factory, but they'll essentially be like a placeholder with a note that'll say to be replaced with X fabric, X material, etc. What the next samples will be is what would be kind of like a final size and construction sample. And then we'll do, assuming that is all good, if there's any edits, we can make those edits. And then that next sample would be what would be referred to as like the golden sample, which would be referenced for production. So we're basically 2 samples away from getting in production. And with where things are at, that should be a relatively quick process. Again, anything major that would need to be changed has already been done, and it's just, again, it's a trust but verify process. So, maybe there's a zipper that should be left and it's right, or a G-hook that should be right-handed when it should be left-handed. Just very small things like that. We'll get all that dialed. We'll have that golden sample to reference for production, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. But one of the highlights for me so far has been Jamie putting on the pack we put a bunch of those sample books in it, putting it on, and just the face doesn't lie. The look on her face of the fit and how the weight was distributed across not her shoulders, essentially. It kind of was hugging her whole body. That was it. That's what I was looking for. So I think we nailed it. So I can't wait for you guys to ruck with the Wild Gym ruck. And I also can't wait to get back home. I definitely miss my family, miss my wife, miss my kids, but I guess kind of like at a more meta level, if anyone is considering manufacturing their own product or doing anything like that, you can get pretty far with email and mailing things back and forth, but the amount of understanding and work you get done just being side by side with the manufacturer, being able to point things out in real time, it's priceless. So that's something, again, at like a more meta level, just for the future of Wild Gym and just the business itself, having this experience working side by side with our manufacturer has been so valuable. And, it's not like we haven't done it in the past, but this is just like a next level up. So the owner, he's very wise. We spent a lot of time together, and we talked about the ruck backpack, but then we also just talked about almost more like philosophical concepts. And man, yeah, he said this was actually today. He said, I want to be a millionaire of memories. Millionaire of memories. So I'm still kind of digesting that, but essentially what we were talking about is like, what's your end goal? Like, what are you aiming for with your business and your life, really? And he said that comment, I want to be a millionaire of memories. That resonated with me. So League of Wildness, I hope you guys are building up that, you're putting those memories in the bank, getting out. For those of you that did the challenge, you could just finish 21 days of rucking. For those of you that back Kickstarter, thank you so much for continuing to support Wildness. It's been a 9-year journey, which is crazy. And hopefully there's like 19 or 90 more. That was the other thing, actually. Last thing, spending time with the owner, in the US, in the startup world especially, there's this like build and sell mindset. It's kind of like, what I was gonna say is it's almost like the get rich quick mindset, but it's a much shorter time scale. Whereas, what we're talking about is he's thinking about his business for the next 30 years and how he wants to grow and be involved in that. So it's just a totally different scale than I've really contemplated. So I'd say this trip was valuable there's like the tactical manufacturing side of it, of just checking all the boxes for the product specifically, but then, just getting a different perspective and getting to learn from someone that has been very successful in this particular type of industry, but just in business in general. So I appreciate the opportunity, and hopefully I continue to learn and grow with you guys. So I've got one more day to kind of marinate here, and then I head back to the US, and I'll be back rocking Monday. So thank you guys. And again, please share the campaign. If you think there's someone that would be psyched on rucking or just kind of being a part of the Wild Gym family, bring them on in. On that note, Wildman Dan signing off from Vietnam. I appreciate you guys.